Super. BS.
What up, my doodlies? It's your lovable baby boy Frank here. Growing boy, I mean, because we're getting close to Halloween and ooh. And I'm joined by a different Jay this week. Who am I joined by?
Oh man, what was my old name?
It's whatever you want to go by now.
It was Vit Vit McGee.
Vit Vit Mesquite. Yes, it was Vit Vit Mesquite. Totally makes sense. I traded out a Josh for a Vit Vit Mesquite. That is that rhymes, right? A J for a Vit Vit Mesquite. Just what I wanted to say.
Oh man, what's Josh doing?
I don't know. Probably sucking at life, and I hope he listens to this because he sucks at life. No, I think he actually runs an esports league. So I'm giving you guys inside baseball right now. So
Brag.
He was, yeah. So he runs an esports league at like a small private Christian school. Crazy brag, man. They had like competitions, I think, Wednesday and Monday, which inside baseball. We're recording this on a Tuesday, so neither of those days. So he couldn't do it. But before we get into all that jazz, as you know, this is Super BS, a podcast about video games. Mostly, but about the mostly part, Vit Vit, it's been a long time since we've talked to you. What have you been up to, my bro? We remember you last living in Oregon, the Oregon Trail. If you love the game, now you want to live in the place. Where are you at? What you been playing? Give us all the rundown, okay? We need to know.
Oh yeah, I did. I went on the Oregon Trail.
How many people died of
dysentery?
Dysentery. The best disease.
It's definitely the funnest.
Everybody loves that one, man.
I don't know how many people died. Like 7?
Probably
8?
7 died of dysentery on your way up to Oregon. You loaded up your wagon.
Already side tangent, me and Trish got the Oregon Trail card game. And
wow.
It is very difficult.
What do you do?
You try to live, and I don't think everyone.
I know that's difficult. I've been trying to do that. It's hard.
Everyone dies in that game. No one lives. I don't know. It's so hard. Everyone just dies every time I've ever played it. No one's beaten it.
It sounds like the Dark Souls of video games.
Video game card games, but yeah, the rules are definitely stacked against you. Literally you have to have like a whole team, and like everyone has to try to work together to save one person, I think, to get one person to win, but I haven't seen it happen yet.
Oh, nice.
And I play it every day.
You play every day. That's your new job, is Oregon Trail card game expert. Vit Vit Mesquite over here.
Vita Vita.
On the Vita Vita, speaking of Vitas, have you been playing that sweet Vita? Have you moved on? Are you still a Vita boy?
I haven't played it, but I've kept it out because Fez is on my Vita, and
Fez is great.
I hate buying the same game on multiple systems, although I'm probably going to buy it for Steam eventually so that I have it on my computer.
You gotta get that to Switch, my bro. It needs to come to Switch.
It's not going to come to Switch. They don't have any plans to port it to Switch.
Well, that's why you gotta email them hate mail till they do it. That's how you get people. They want to hear how much you hate them unless they bring their games to the Switch.
Phil Fish, right? That guy.
Phil Fish. He joined the industry because people hate him. If you read the news, that was the thing. He did not leave. He joined after all the hate. And that's a lie that said he quit.
Do you know the Phil Fish story?
Did you get to watch that really cool documentary, Indie Game, the movie?
Yeah, I did. That was years ago. But he definitely actually, I mean, he overreacted and his Twitter storm wasn't great. But in the beginning, he was definitely kind of misquoted. He didn't
for his hatred for Mario.
Yeah, for Japanese games, he didn't misspeak, but he worded it in a way that was like abrasive, and then people just kind of took it and ran with it, and then it just became a whole thing, which was that was a little unfair to him. Although then he countered that by being crazy, so he didn't help the situation.
I think that, as somebody who is thankfully a nobody, I am kind of glad that I don't have to deal with people sending me hate mail all day. Like, have you ever played any? What's up?
I can start sending you some.
Well, thank you, please. I'd love the hate mail. Have you played any online multiplayer games like ever? Like after Halo 2 time period, did you play any games like on 360 or PS3 or
just a bit
like that?
Just some of the Medal of Honor games with you boys for a bit, but then
I think we all played Call of Duty quite a bit.
Yeah, the Call of Duties.
And some of our friends would get hate mail because they were so good.
I know,
but
some of our friends were really stupid good. It was annoying.
Yeah. However, I get hate mail because when I do bad. So normally, it still happens I play Apex Legends a lot, and it still happens that if there's ever a match where I die early, and I've had to turn off notifications because of this, I will normally get somebody that says, "Why do you suck so much?"
Oh, man.
It's
probably like a 12-year-old too.
Yeah, it's like, it doesn't offend me that much, but it's like, I'm just playing, I'm in casual mode. Just leave me be. Let me be a casual. Yeah. About them sweet games, which we never actually got to. What have you played recently? Even if you haven't played games in the last week or month or whatever, what was the last game you played?
No, the new Mario 3D release with
Super Mario or Super 3D. What is it? 3D Mario All Stars? Super 3D.
I think it's called Mario Coming At Ya.
Mario Coming At You. Got it. That's the name. Super Mario 3D All Stars. I should know it because I've talked about it every episode.
It's Super Mario Coming At Ya.
Super Mario Coming At You.
I'm going to stand by that.
TM. We now own the rights to that game somehow. We don't have to own the rights to Super Mario. We can just own the rights to the rest of that. And they can't make that game. Which of the 3 Mario games on there is your favorite?
Oh boy. For me, it's probably a two-way. Well, it's Super Mario World and Super Mario 64 are my 2 favorites.
No, from that the set though of
from the set
Galaxy, Sunshine, 64. 64
is my favorite, then Sunshine, then Galaxy. I didn't hate Galaxy, but I was never it wasn't my favorite ever. It was fine.
Yeah, I would say out of those 3, I'm fairly similar, except for I think Galaxy going back now is way better than Sunshine. I don't know if you played a lot of Sunshine on this version, but I got to about 20 shines, and I think I'm done with Sunshine.
Really?
I'll probably finish
Why?
Galaxy. I just feel like it controls terribly. I hate FLUDD. I hate the idea you can't long jump. I don't like the controls and the movement. Everything just feels wrong. And the fact that you're just kind of in one biome, like sunny, tropical, paradise, whatever it is, it's boring. It doesn't feel like how Mario should be, where you're going across distant lands that are all radically different, that make no sense. I was just in a snow forest. Now I'm on a volcano.
Galaxy's the same way. You're just in a galaxy.
I guess, but every galaxy has its own little, there's
theme.
A volcano galaxy, and there's a trash one, and a Boo Mansion, and all that stuff.
That's fair. I haven't played it. Yeah. I'm gonna play it eventually, but
the worst part is they didn't really update it to work great with the Switch. So you still have motion controls that you have no other options besides you have to use them. So that is very frustrating, to say the least. I don't love it when it's hey, we made this game, we ported it to this, but good luck playing it because you have to play the old way.
We ported
don't want
it,
you to play this,
but the A button doesn't work. So good luck.
We don't really want you to play this, okay? So we're gonna make it as hard as possible. If you can beat it, you win $1 million. Good luck.
Sounds about right for Nintendo.
I know, man. Nintendo's been on a slow spell this year. I mean, everything, it's been a strange year. But are you excited, or have you played any of the Pikmin series?
No, I've seen it. I never got into it just because I never did. But
yeah,
Pikmin 3, it's always looked cool.
Yeah, Pikmin 3 is coming out. There's a free demo on Switch. You should try it out. It's the demo has sold me on it. I don't know if it sold me to spend $60 on it at launch because it is a port from Wii U, and I got it for I think $10 or $20, maybe even free. I can't remember. They had this weird Wii U sold so poorly. They had this thing: if you bought a few games, you get a free game. So I think that was Pikmin 3 was my free game. But yeah, I haven't really touched my Switch too much these last few months. I've kind of been just, I'm normally touching it nonstop, just poking it and prodding it. But I have been, I turn on my Xbox most days. Been doing a lot of hard drive management. Bought some hard drives on Prime Day, so I've been updating everything for these next gens. And I actually turned on, do you know Days Gone, a Sony exclusive from last year?
No.
Okay, so just walk with me down this lane. It is essentially the developers loved both Sons of Anarchy and The Walking Dead. So you can probably imagine what this game is.
Sure.
You are a biker by the name of Deacon St. John, greatest video game name in the history of game names.
Pretty good.
And yeah, Deacon St. John, man, I love it. I think it's the best, and they deserve an Oscar. Anyways, it is pretty generic. You ride a motorcycle around and kill zombies. I turned it on. I played through the intro, and I realized, and I shut it off, and I will probably never turn it on again. But yeah, man, it's been a slow month for new release gaming. I mean, that Mario game that you're talking about came out mid-September, and there's not really anything new coming out till the end of the month, when Watch Dogs Legion and Pikmin 3 will come out. Are you on that next-gen hype train? Are you going to get one of the new consoles?
I'm kind of keeping my eye on the Switch Pro, the rumors at least about it, but I've pretty much gone, I'm just Nintendo and PC. I don't do anything else.
Yeah, I can understand that. That is a really fair approach, especially if you're not into PlayStation exclusives, because if you're not into those, I mean, you don't need an Xbox. Like, I like the console. I think myself, Josh, maybe even Dr. Donna are going to get probably a Series X. Dr. Donna, I love bringing up Dr. Donna on this show because this is essentially a reboot since we took a year and a half off, and there's a good chance nobody knows who I'm talking about at all, because I don't even know if our old episodes are still on Apple Podcasts. Anyways,
I don't
Dr.
know why
Donna,
they wouldn't be. I mean, it just stays.
I got an email that they got taken down. So that's
did
why
you probably violated
too much cussing. Everybody knows I'm a cuss mouth, so everybody knows I use all the swears. Yeah, I've been cussing too hard, man. My lips are split with all that cussing. Everybody knows I know all the swears, and I teach them to children. That is my job as a podcaster. No, I haven't really been gaming too hard, but I have been building a Raspberry Pi. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, Davy Poo is big into Raspberry Pis.
Old Stank Bank himself in the previous podcast.
Have you had him on the show?
To know. No, I thought about calling him, but there's no stocks to talk about right now, man, and that's his job. His stock corner, he's stuck there. And when the stocks come back, when the stocks come back, then he will be able to join the podcast again. Not 1 minute earlier. No, but yeah, he had a Raspberry Pi, and so my niece and nephew, I thought for the holidays, I was like, oh, it'd be really cool to make them a pie. So I've been kind of in that pie zone, man. Smelling blueberry, smelling raspberry, and it's fun. It's frustrating. It's like something where it's like if you get things to work, you feel like a genius, but there's essentially a bunch of stuff that is so frustrating. Like a good example would be I bought a Super NES style gamepad for it, and the gamepad is great for Super Nintendo games, but you can only do configurations for one game. And because N64 only had the A and B button, the A and B button, because of their placement on the N64 gamepad, are now the B and X button on this gamepad.
Classic Switch.
But all the games say, press the A button to do this, and you can't.
I've thought about going down that route. I really have, because the idea of and you can even get, I haven't picked one up because you can get some systems. They don't even seem legal, although I get marketing.
What are you talking about, man? It's
the ones where
Nintendo's selling them themselves.
No, the ones where it comes with 1,000 Nintendo and Super Nintendo games on it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's the good one. That's the good one. It's not the pirate one. That's Nintendo. They're in the dark alley.
I want the
Yeah, I work for
pirated one,
Nintendo.
but I don't know. Maybe I'll pick one up eventually, because anytime I mess around, I have a hard enough time like modding my own Steam games, and those are like made to be modded, and it's still like a lot of work. It took me forever to mod.
But you should consider modding this, man, because I think you'd get a kick out of it. And honestly, if you're just looking for bare bones, and you're willing to kick $120 towards it,
I don't got the time. That's why I switch
like
switch in
two hours.
Steam. I don't got 2 hours, man. I barely have 2 minutes.
This guy's didn't even have 2 minutes for the podcast. Sorry, guys, we're actually done with the podcast. It went over 2 minutes. In the middle of the podcast, we just cut to black.
Well, the reason I won't do it is because whatever. It's lame, like buying games legally.
Yeah, what are you
which
doing
is
giving
fine.
money to people? You should be stealing that stuff.
But I already have
already
have a backlog of my Switch games that I haven't beat, and my Steam games that I haven't beat, and then just the games I want to replay, like Fez on my Vita.
Did you ever play Braid? I think that's on Vita as well. Okay, good.
Braid's
that's
awesome.
a very good indie game. Yeah,
Braid
I was just thinking about. Whenever people mention Fez, I think Braid and Fez. Like, those are two of my favorite like indie 360 titles.
I think I include Bastion because that was a fun game.
Oh, Bastion's great too.
I think it came out like
Hades?
the same year. I did not. That's the Bastion people, right?
Ooh, yeah, it's really, really good. It's on
they
Switch.
They do music really good. But
yeah, the story, everything's incredible, man. You should try that out. It's a lot of people, it's kind of like their favorite game of the year. Like, if you talk to Dr. Donna, he was in love with it. He beat it already. It's a very difficult game. I got to the last boss finally after probably 10, 12 hours playing it. And it's because it's a roguelike. You pretty much have to keep replaying it over and over and over again. So I still haven't finished it. I need to go back at some point. It's not in the cards right now, man. I only got 2 minutes, so I'm stopping things right here.
2 minute podcast.
I got 3 minutes though. I get an extra minute than you. I get one more minute in life.
Is it who's doing the podcast? Is it just you and Joshy? Do you have anybody else on these days?
Because it's remote learning.
Mm-hmm.
We have it's just easier with two of us. Dr. Donna isn't the biggest fan of doing things like putting microphones near his mouth. So he offered to be on it if we could only do a phone call. And me, I'm a little bit of a stickler for audio. That's another reason why Stank Bank has not joined Inside Baseball again. I do not think he has a microphone or any way of recording himself. So
dude, he should just get a Yeti, a blue Yeti or whatever.
I told him. I also told him to buy a new house with a new audio room, man, and soundproofing enclosure and a vocal booth. And he said no. I was like, it's only $10,000. Very, very simple, cheap amount of money. I said, just do it.
Have you been to his new back room? It's so legit.
It is cool. I know. He should turn that into a vocal studio. Then I'll just go and record stuff there.
His Warhammer collection.
Oh, hey, so they actually put in like flooring now, and he took out the Warhammer table, but there's like a TV in there and a little couch. Yeah, it's like there's a Super Nintendo in there. He doesn't have many games.
Did his wife make him do that?
I don't know, man, but I saw that. I was like, did your wife make you do that? He wouldn't even answer. I was sick to my stomach.
He started to cry. Hey. I bet he started to cry. Yeah. Did your wife make you do this? And he's like, I can't answer that.
I can't answer that anymore, okay?
Dude,
like, where did your dolls go? Because he knows I love it. He loves it when I call his Warhammer figurines dolls. So I asked him, where did your dolls go? And he couldn't even answer, man. He stores his dolls under his bed now. You can't even see them. So it's like a waste of all of his doll space. And he's got less time to play with toys.
He sleeps on the ground, and he puts his dolls in with the bed with his wife.
Yeah, he sleeps at the edge of the bed. Aaron's got space issues, if you remember that Office episode where Mike sleeps on like I don't even know what to call that, like the end of a bed. Like, it's the worst, most uncomfortable looking thing I've ever seen in my life. We just saw that episode recently. Do you have anything else you've been playing before I take you to the news zone USA?
No, just trying to beat 64, and then I'm gonna beat Sunshine, and then I'll decide if I want to play Galaxy.
Don't do it. Don't beat Sunshine.
and
You'll hate your life.
I'm deciding if I want to try to, because I'm gonna get all the stars in the levels, right? The 6 in levels,
Yeah.
and then all the castle ones.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want to grind out the 100 coins.
I did it recently. It was not bad at all. It was way easier than I remember. The hardest levels are honestly like Bob-omb Battlefield because there's literally only like a handful of levels where there's like
I think it's
100
104 or something like that for Bob
yeah,
on
it's
Battle.
silly. Yeah, so that one's no fun. But a lot of them, there's like 150, 160 coins, so it's not that difficult. Like, or maybe not that many, but there's like 120 coins.
Yeah,
so
but
you're not like worrying about it.
I could just not do those 100 coins and get everything else, and then beat Bowser, and then I can just delete the file and forget about it, and then I'll be satisfied. You don't have
everybody on the other side over here wants to know, how are you going to see Yoshi? Okay, everybody with me on the 120 star side.
You don't. I forgot. You can't see Yoshi unless you get 120.
You can't get the cannon that opens to shoot on top of the castle. This is a spoiler, by the way.
Unless you get 100. I just thought you had to beat Bowser for that. No,
you got to get 120 stars, and then he gives you 99 lives, which I don't know what you're gonna do with those lives now. But
right
now you're infinite, so
but
that's something you should have thought about.
Dang, I did forget about that. I mean, I could always just watch him on YouTube.
Nah, it doesn't exist. It's not a thing. So you either have to do it yourself or you can't. You aren't allowed to look at it. That
actually is kind of disappointing. I'm probably still not going to grind it out because I'm.
This guy.
You know what I'll probably do? I'll probably just meet Mario, and then what I'll probably do is keep the file.
You're already Mario.
And I'm sorry, I'll beat Bowser. I'll beat Mario. It's a side.
You play as Bowser and beat Mario in this version.
I'll probably just keep the file open and grind out the 100 coin levels over whenever I suddenly have some downtime.
Now that's a plan, okay? Then you can one day rise to the ranks.
That's my plan.
To elite games.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay,
I decided. I've spoken.
You did it. Guys, we did it. He's doing it. He's actually doing it.
And now that I've said I'm going to do it, it's pretty much done. So now I can just delete it.
Yeah.
So I'm done.
He didn't even have to beat the game. He just had to talk about beating the game.
Do it
and he's
now
done.
while we're talking. Let me just delete that.
Delete the game and delete your Switch if you can. Go into the system hardware.
Delete all my...
beep.
Oh, you know what I picked up? Crossworld.
Crosscode.
Crosscode. There it is.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I didn't have to pick it up. It's part of Games Pass. So, elite Xbox gamer here who's played it on his Games Pass. Yeah, it's pretty good. Where are you in it? It's pretty fun, though.
Is that your son?
Ambulance is on my... Yeah, that's my son. He drives an ambulance. I don't... I haven't met him yet, but I'm excited to.
Jake Jr.
Jake Jr. That's the name of my son. He's going to be called Jake Jr. My wife and I decided a while ago we wanted to name him a junior, but we didn't like either of our names. So we chose Jake. JJ. What was the thing where are you at in Crosscode before we get into our sweet news?
Oh, I've just finished the first zone.
The first entire game. You heard it here, folks. You finished all of Crosscode, a 80-plus hour game.
It is pretty long, but
it does seem way too long, man. I played. So you're off the boat, right?
Yeah, off the boat and
okay,
past that first cool little zone.
So I did the town, and then I went to the left. Maybe that's the zone you're talking about.
No,
I played.
I went left and beat left, and that.
Oh, okay. So I didn't finish that whole thing yet, and I was like, this is gonna take forever. So I haven't gone back yet. It is fun though. I really liked it.
Yeah, like I said, I don't.
He said he has more than 2 minutes to spend time on it. So
I don't know. I start school again in 6 weeks. I just took a little break, but
just quit school, okay? Everybody's doing it. It's the right thing to do for everyone. This is an all-around thing. I want you to tell your parents you heard on a podcast with tens of listeners.
Tens of listeners.
Well, actually just 10, but close to hopefully more than 10 at some point.
Are 2 of those 10 just you and Josh downloading?
Yeah,
it?
I mean, I'm definitely listening to it on several devices, so I'm probably more like 6 of the 10 listeners.
Ooh, rough.
So for the guy in Nepal, thank you. You're the only listener. You're the only actual non-bot. I only had enough money to pay for 10 bots, which at 5 cents a piece, it was just too pricey for me, man. So
I got
10 listens.
I got some France and Germany listeners on my podcast these days. That's pretty cool.
Are they ages 40 plus and non-binary? Because those are our listeners. They are all age 40 plus non-binary, okay? That's what Anchor FM shows us. And we love them, okay? And we will not kink shame them, okay, Jake? So don't you dare think about doing that right now on the podcast.
Done.
Anyways, we got to get to more of what's all about this game. And so I'm going to take you back to the news. We'll be back real quick. Super BS. Okay, now that we're back from that sweet short break, I got to ask you what you think about this crazy news that's going to blow your mind and change the way you think about the world in video games. Halo Master Chief Collection, a game from 2014, is getting a Series X upgrade, 120 hertz, which no, I think it's 120 frames per second. A bunch of other junk that I'm looking up right now. What do you think about me just saying stuff?
Well,
what do you think about this idea that the game is going to run better? A game you've maybe never played.
I've played all of them. I'd like to play them all again. That's cool. I don't know if they release it on Steam eventually, then I'll pick it up eventually.
They're on Steam. They're all on Steam.
Oh.
Or they're not all on Steam. Most of them are on Steam. I think they just put Halo 3 up recently on Steam.
Yeah, because I thought they hadn't put them all up. I mean, I haven't checked in a long time, but I love the Halo games. They're really fun. I mean,
yeah.
Not 5.
Hell, 5's great, man.
No, I mean, the first 3 are legit, and then they slowly...
Nah,
Wait,
you're wrong.
Hold on, I'm trying to remember. 1's legit, 2's legit.
1 is good, legit. 2 is okay. The multiplayer is great, but the actual single player was the one where you play as the alien, the Arbiter.
The Arbiter.
It was okay. It just the single player went on way too long. If you remember, it was like 20 missions. I haven't gone back to a long time, but I just remember being like, this is very long. And
no, yeah, dude, it's the story in 5 with Cortana and making her the bad guy. I'm like, what are they doing?
Dude, Halo 5 though, compared to 4, I've tried playing through Halo 4 now several times, and I cannot pass the second. I just get so bored. Halo 5 I finished. I actually think it's really good. But about this news real quick. So they're going to fully optimize Halo the Master Chief Collection for Series X and Series S, which will mean that, and I don't even know who this is for because my TV doesn't output at this, but it will be 120 frames per second in both campaign and multiplayer. Split screen will go up to 4K, and obviously this is a free upgrade for anybody who either owns it or has Games Pass. So that's kind of like crazy. Does your TV do 120 hertz? Like, have you bought one of those TVs?
No, but remember, I play video games on my Switch.
Yeah, that's a 4K. That's probably 8K, right? Your Switch.
I play it on my Switch portable and my piece and my laptop, which is it's a decent gaming laptop, but
what are you talking about? Your Switch, you got that modded one, man. That 8K, 120 frames per second runs better than all the consoles. Yeah, you put a Raspberry Pi in your Switch, made it run better. Yeah, it looks like right now a 120 hertz TV starts at a little bit over $1,200. So sounds like you've got some work to do. Okay, Jake, you got to buy Vit Vit. You got to buy that. You need to buy and own that. Everybody knows that. That's how you're happy in life. You buy things. So buy the things and become happy like everybody else, fool.
Done. Deal.
This has actually been like a really, really quiet news week. I'm assuming like the new consoles come out November 10th for the Series X and November 12th for the PS5. I'm assuming that week is going to be insane, but right now there's like that Halo news, and then the only other thing I saw that was kind of interesting is the PS5 showed its UI, and check this out, because I think you might get a kick out of this. They're adding this button that you can press where, say you get stuck in a game, theoretically, they'll put videos that when you press this button, it will just take you directly to a walkthrough of just that specific part. So it's kind of like a hint system, but you don't have to go on the internet to find, like, if you get stuck somewhere. What do you think about that?
Oh, boy. I'm not sure. I mean...
He loves it. You guys heard it here first, folks. He's buying a $500 system. He said he loves it. On the record. What are you not sure about? I think it sounds pretty neat.
I don't know. I have mixed feelings on games. I usually try to figure it all out myself, and then if I
Yeah.
can't, I'll go just on my computer or my phone and find something. And I don't even really like doing that. I just don't have the time anymore.
Yeah, but okay,
but
I'm totally there with you. I hate looking up
I
stuff.
think if it was right there and I had a button, I think I'd go to it too quick.
So I understand your issue with it, but as somebody who was like trying to figure out, I got the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2 remake that came out in September. It was awesome. And as somebody who couldn't remember how to do like a blunt side or a glide side or whatever the thing I had to do was, and trying to find how to do that on the internet when like nobody had an exact answer was really frustrating. I don't even like looking at facts or walkthroughs anymore. And I think you and I were both the types of kids who had the strategy guides when we were growing up. And I hate that stuff now. Like I can't.
Well, you can just
do
find
that anymore.
You can find videos on YouTube for anything game-wise these days.
I already told you there's no such thing as YouTube. Stop taking your crazy pills, okay? Nobody uses this YouTube or whatever you talk about, okay? So go on the PS5, buy it for $500 or $400 discless, and then press the hint button, okay? Next time you get stuck on Fez.
Done.
I know you don't know how to beat Fez. So I know you've played Fez tons of times. You've never finished it. So you get the hat, and then you shut it off every time.
I just get the hat and I watch him spin around in the world, and then I turn it off real quick.
Man, how disappointing was that though when you heard that Fez 2 got canceled? Like I still today.
To this day go on a Google or I use DuckDuckGo now. I don't use Google.
I use DuckDuckGoogle. It's the best of both worlds. They get all my information, and I use a less useful search engine.
Yeah, but at least they don't think you're stupid.
Yeah, at least they don't. Google normally had if I ask any questions, they say, "Why are you so dumb?"
Yeah,
is the first thing that comes up. Go ahead though. What about the Fez 2 stuff?
Oh, I will still like see if I keep waiting. Like I'll see I'll type in Fez 2 news, and I'm waiting for like Phil Fish to tweet out like, "All right, I'm back. It's been 6 years. I'm ready to go again." But
yeah,
he really pieced out. I'm surprised.
Yeah, how disappointing is it though? Like there's no like Indie Game the Movie 2. Like they really need one of these times. Like that is still like one of my favorite documentaries, and because there's very little insight into
Monster
the gaming
Camp?
world.
Did you watch Monster Camp? That was a great one too.
I didn't. Is that a LARPing one?
That's the LARPing one.
Okay.
And then there's another LARPing one called Drakmar. Oh, what is it? It's by Justin Daniel Cretton. He went to Point Loma with me. He was an older student. He was an acquaintance, but he's doing like
your best friend.
I wish he's doing the new Marvel movie. He's the director for the
Dustin Dayton. What's his name?
Justin Daniel Cretton.
Cretin. He's a cretin, you mean?
Cretin.
You pronounce it cretin.
He's doing the new Marvel movie. One of the Marvel movies.
Yeah,
he did Just Mercy. He's doing really well. He's a really good guy. But
it sounds like his life sucks, man. Like I wouldn't want to have that life. Oh, he's doing Shang-Chi and the Legend. I don't know what this is. And the Legend of the Ten Rings.
It's just a Marvel. It's going to be the second. Marvel movies are entering into like the second phase or third phase, whatever phase it's in. Now that
phase a million.
I think it's phase 3. I think phase 1 was like introducing, and then phase 2 they did all those Avengers 1, and then they did the whole Thanos thing, and now they're doing phase 3, and they're going to introduce all these oddball characters.
When are they going to introduce Thanos 2? That's who I've been waiting for since the beginning. I was like, this Thanos 1 guy's okay, but I really want to see a sequel of him. So, and he's going to be way better, way bigger and purplier.
Anyway,
so
he did a LARPing movie too, and that was pretty cool. I like the LARPing movies. It's just about him. No, he did it. It's on. Oh man, I watched it. He did it like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Whatever.
It's called My Friend Vit Vit LARPs.
Well,
and it's just you LARPing the whole
boy.
time. That would be awesome. Drakmar.
There
A Vassal's
it
Journey.
is. He did that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, It's every listener here, all 10 of them, it's their favorite. So we didn't even have to waste time talking about it. This actor looks so funny. Is he funny? The kid in it? He looks like a laugh a minute hoot riot type of person. Drakmar himself does. So that's that kid's name. That's the kid's legal birth name is Drakmar, I think. Yeah, but I'm all about that, man. I love Drakmar. And I love LARPing. Everybody knows that this is a LARP podcast where we don't actually discuss games. We talk about our favorite LARPing costumes and who we like to LARP as.
I've always kind of wanted to go. I have such mixed feelings about LARPing because...
What's the mixed feelings? It's all good. There's only one feeling for LARPing.
I don't know. I mean, me and you are as geeky as they come. Like, we'll play D&D.
Hey, talk for yourself, okay? I'm so cool.
In Numenera, and I'm all about it. And I'll play, Doomhaven and
Gloomhaven, yeah.
No, Doomhaven. It's my own version.
Okay. I thought you were misremembering Gloomhaven.
No.
That would have been actually way better.
And
dude,
then,
we need Connor Rose on this podcast. We need somebody who's actually cool to talk us up, okay? And he'll be like, wow, you guys are actually cool. And we'll be like, yeah, of course. So you can't say stuff like that. Like, we're nerds.
See, 'cause
we're the cool kids.
I think it's just like in LARPing, they'll take pool noodles and like cut them and then put that around. And it's like, and that's kind of like the standard. And I'm like, guys, like if we're going to make padded weapons, I don't know. I can't say guys. I should try it before I.
Yeah, you shouldn't say guys. That's too derogatory. You should say fellas.
There's no
Anyways,
guys.
Everybody knows I'm very PC. So that is, I was doing that for our fans out there, okay? They're really offended, all 10 of them. Because the news was so short and there wasn't a lot to talk about, before we start talking about what you've been up to and catching up a little bit and figuring out all that jazz you've been doing, I've got for our topic the classic gaming franchises. And that means, like, I'm curious what franchises were your favorite growing up, which ones you'd like to see a new series in, like a new or a sequel or new entry. This isn't really a ranked list. This is just like a discussion. To kick it off, I will say that like one of my all-time favorite classic gaming franchises that we talk about a ton and we haven't talked about recently is Final Fantasy. And they recently announced Final Fantasy 16. It's coming to PC, so you can play it, and PS5. And I'm excited for it, but I also don't think it looks very good. Have you watched the trailer for that?
I feel like they all just started looking too weird to me, which is a shame because.
When did you drop off? Like, what was the last one you remember playing? Did you play 10 on PlayStation 2?
Yeah, I played 10. 10 was great. 10
Did you play 12?
I think. Is that the one with the 4 knights?
Yes, yeah. There's like the judges. It's really cool.
The judges.
It's like a really.
That was the last one, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I like that one a lot. That's a really neat one.
I mean, I know you and Eric played a lot of the older ones, and I've played a lot of them too. But I really 7, 8, and 9 were my 3 main ones.
Oh, okay.
Those are my 3. And I played some of the other ones a lot. Again, like with you and Eric. But those are just the 3 that I replayed a lot. Yeah,
and I mean, those are great ones. I really liked 15. We talked about that way too much ad nauseum here, so I don't want to bring it up again. But the main reason why I brought that one is I'd like to hear, I know some of your favorite classic gaming franchise, or I think I do at least, but why don't you tell all the listener what your what some of your favorite games growing up were, like what the big franchises were, and like which ones like you'd like to see, and maybe how that game would look in your mind. Like, is there any franchise that's coming to your mind like right away?
You know what I really miss? I wish they'd put out a new, really good Pilot Wings.
Pilot Wings is great, man. I actually was just looking at that the other day for this the pie, but I totally agree. That would be really neat.
The Super Nintendo Pilot Wings, awesome. The N64 Pilot Wings,
better.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The Wii one, I didn't even play. I had no interest in.
They had one on Wii?
They had like a Wii. You were just like, like the caricatures that you could make of yourself. It was like Wii Sports. They had like a weird Wii version of that for Pilot Wings, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, you're right. It's 3DS. Pilot Wings Resort. Is
Resort,
the 3DS version.
No interest in playing 3DS Resort.
Yeah.
I wanted the characters like in the N64 one.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why have they not?
Specifically that one character from N64.
I want them to put out a new one with shooting you from a cannon, like in the N64 one.
I want them to shoot you with a cannon to just shoot your character.
Some silly gameplay, but that's one I think about every once in a while. I mean, I've been wanting to replay Pilot Wing 64, and like I can't get a good emulator of it. It has, I can't find it. I can't find a way to play it.
Yeah, man, it's really frustrating when there's a game that's like you want to play and there's no way to play it. I've been feeling that way with NFL Street, which is one of my favorite. I'm not normally a big sports game guy, but NFL Street and NFL Street 2 for the original Xbox are crazy fun, and you just make like a really fun squad. They're kind of like Blitz, but way more modern, and there's a little bit more to it than just jumping on somebody repeatedly after you tackle them. But what I was thinking also when I was talking about classic gaming franchises, I do love Pilot Wings, is I remember growing up, one of your favorite franchises was like Castlevania. Am I correct?
Yes, that is. I played a lot, all of those, and then I stopped.
They haven't made one in a long time.
I stopped playing. I played all of the ones for the Game Boys and the DS. I played those for a long time, and then I played the one for PS2.
Okay.
And then, which was, as far as I can remember, legit. And then I've stopped. And then the stories like got to be not about the Belmonts. They were about like other people. And I don't know. Like, it was a struggle because I wanted to be a Belmont or I wanted to play out as Alucard because Symphony of the Night is tight. I should watch some speedrunning on that. That'd be cool. I haven't watched that.
Did you ever play Lords of Shadow, the one that came out on 360 PS3? The Castlevania Lords of Shadow game?
I did not pick that one up, but I think that one also got good reviews if I remember.
Yeah, because when I think of classic gaming franchises that you like, I also, if I remember correctly, you also like the Metal Gear Solid ones, right?
Yes, and that's another thing that I've been trying to remember. I did. I played them all the way up.
Yeah.
But
I assume you didn't play 5 or 4, though, because I don't think you had a PS3.
Exactly. Okay. I've been out of this, anyway. I don't know if those games are as good now as I remembered them.
The old ones or like the newer, more modern ones?
Like the PlayStation and the PlayStation 2 one. Like, I wonder if I were to play them again, if I would think they're a bit silly. I suspect I would think that they're silly. I don't know if they hold up. I mean, they're great in my memories, but the pacing was pretty slow if I remember now. Although, I mean, they're stealth games, so it's not exactly fair, but
Symphony of the Night, which is the PlayStation 1 game that most people like, it holds up pretty well. I played it way after the fact.
Well, I was talking about the Metal Gear Solid games.
Oh, Metal Gear Solid. I was wondering. Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. When you said stealth, I was like, oh, Castlevania, I guess it could be
Castlevania.
Yeah, I don't know. The only reason why I brought up the Lords of Shadow and also brought up Metal Gear Solid is because Lords of Shadow, that Castlevania game, was directed by Hideo Kojima, the designer of Metal Gear Solid. So I thought, like, oh, that's a game that you would like. And then I know that another franchise that you used to love was Metroid, right? I feel like you were a big Metroid fan.
Metroid Prime 4 got pushed back, but that's fine.
Yeah.
They had at least the best honest answer, which was, we don't want to release a crappy game. And I'm like, all right, fine.
Yeah. Did you hear that there's a rumor that the trilogy will come to Switch? They had one on Wii and Wii U, but like all the first 3 games.
I'd love it.
Come to Switch.
I would. Yeah. I'd play it I'd pick that up in a heartbeat. What I want even more than that is Wind Waker for Switch.
That would be great. That is another one we talk about a lot that I don't understand why Nintendo's not like, hey, release this. Well, it's a Wii U game.
I think it's going to come. A lot of people think it's going to come. But like, just in where I am in life now, like, games that I can kind of pick up and casually play. Like
Yeah.
no better game than just have Wind Waker, having him sail around. Like that'd be so chill.
Yeah, that game would be awesome to play, man. But we'll see. I mean, Nintendo's been really weird for a long time, and they're
so
notoriously
weird.
quiet. So, like, it's just hard to know what's going on. I'm really hoping that those rumors are true. I'm hoping Wind Waker comes. I'm hoping the Metroid Prime trilogy comes out. There's a lot of great classic franchises. A lot of them are on Nintendo. But yeah, man, it's just kind of fun to do a walk down memory lane with some of these really, really historically great franchises that a lot of them aren't seeing like love. Like, yeah, Metroid Prime 4 is going to come out. Yeah, there's a new Zelda being made. There's no new Castlevania that's been made for quite some time. There's really no Metal Gear Solid anymore now that Hideo Kojima doesn't work for Konami. So.
I can't imagine it's going to come, but I would love a new Star Fox game that's legit, but
that would be good.
I can't imagine they're gonna make it.
Yeah, it's hard to even imagine them making it because the last few that they made were so bad. From what I've heard,
I would like a Yoshi game that's not like Epic Yarn or Cardboard. I want one that, I mean, it can still be a little more kiddie, but Yoshi's Island for Super Nintendo is also one of my like absolute favorite game. It's just so colorful and fun that I love it. And they just haven't matched, and none of the Yoshi games have matched the Super Nintendo one, period. And I'm like, come on, guys.
Yeah, I loved the N64 game.
Yeah,
Yoshi's
that was good.
Story. That was good.
That was good.
But yeah, you're right. The new ones, like I played the demo for the one that came out on Switch, and it was just so boring. Like, it was beautiful, but it was so boring. I was like,
well, I think little kids would love it.
Can't suffer it. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know, man. My niece and nephew, like even them, I even think they would be bored playing that. It's like you just kind of like walk slowly, and then it doesn't control great, for like a Nintendo game. Like it doesn't control poorly, but it's not like, wow, this is snappy and fun. It's like, okay, yeah, you can move the character, I guess. So I don't know, man. I don't think a great Yoshi is in the works. I just don't see that happening. They keep just making craptacular versions of that series. But yeah, any other franchise that you can think of before we start wrapping it up today?
Oh, that's all I got right now, I think.
Yeah, I know we're recording a little bit later. Just inside baseball. I love baseball, as you guys can tell. That's why I keep using that term. We're recording a little bit later than we normally do, so both of us are low on energy. Okay, we tie. We small baby boys. We need our sleep so we can grow into big men. And it's a spooky month, so I don't like to sleep after dark. But yeah, it's getting late. But before we sign off, you've been doing like stuff in the podcast space, and I think you've mentioned on the podcast before you write. You're an author. You've been doing stuff there. Can you fill all of our listener in on your favorite things, like, or what you've been up to, like what you've been doodling, where they can find you?
Sure. To your and our 10 listeners on the show.
Yeah. Yes.
Well,
multiply it.
Thanks for listening. I have I'm a writer, and I have a different podcast where I'm doing.
Plug it. What's it called?
It's called the Jake Schafer Campaign, and
nice.
It's just chapters from my audiobook. I have a new book that came out, and I'm just doing chapters bi-weekly, chapter releases.
And you're also doing more though than just chapter releases. I've listened to quite a few of the episodes.
Yeah, I do some bonus interviews with mostly, at least right now, people in the film world.
I think it's excellent. It's really interesting. I can't recommend enough.
Yeah.
So again, just in case you miss it, Jake Schafer Campaign. But tell a little bit more about it.
Yeah, I was a film major, and I interviewed a friend that's kind of in the indie film circuit, and I have an interview coming up with this girl. She's going to be on a show, Panic, a new Amazon Prime show. It's not out yet, but we actually, when I interviewed her, I didn't ask her about the show or anything. Actually, I couldn't even. She's not allowed to talk about it yet. And
you didn't even talk to her at all. You just
didn't talk to her at all. It's just me. It's me talking to me. But I just asked
she's
her.
There. She's listening.
I asked her about like the audition process and what that's like these days. So that's pretty cool.
She said it's really easy, not nerve-wracking. I got the inside scoop
She said
on acting.
she's
It's
been
easy,
acting
just
for
do it.
2 weeks, she said, and she picked it up right away. And
Yeah.
she said, if you want to act, do it, and they'll give you lots of money.
She laughs at people who don't act. And she's like, why don't people just take these free $1 million checks that they're handing me all the time?
Yeah.
This was the easiest thing I've ever done in my life.
She'd said she'd moved to Hollywood and had given herself 2 months to make her dream come true. And if she didn't do it, she was going to stop. But
is that legitimately a thing? I don't want to be spoiled, but
that's from the movie Bowfinger.
Oh, really? It gave himself 2 months? Is that
the actress in
Eddie Murphy?
No, the
that
girl
was,
actress. She's like, I came to Hollywood. I've given myself 2 months.
2 months to become a professional actor. Everybody knows that's the amount of time it takes. Not 1 day longer.
Anyway, it's cool. If you like Lord of the Rings and audiobooks, and if you got a long commute, maybe give it a shot.
Yeah, man. And the book is also available, right? In case people don't just want to listen to it. In case they want to give you some cash. They're crazy rich. All of our listeners are crazy rich. So they want to give you cash.
Since people read these days, it's if they want to pick up a high fantasy, pretty cool book about a knight, similar to
cover art's dope,
Lord of the Rings, or what else is it similar to?
The Hobbit,
The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan.
Okay.
Then yeah, I think you'd like this book if you know anything about. If you know that world, it is a good book. So.
Is it similar to The Wheels of Time by Robert Frost, though? Because that's the only book I want to read. It's his poetic version of The Wheels of Time, predating the actual
It's a sequel.
novel.
I pick up where his poetry ends.
That'd be so great. No, that cover art is awesome. Who did it, man?
Just my publisher. One of the guys there does art. It actually... You want some inside scoop? There's a small mess up on it, but literally I don't even know if you could find it, but I see it. That's all I see.
One more time, what's the title of the book so everybody remembers it?
The Fleeting Prince.
The Fleeting Prince. We're gonna everybody get to Google, see if you can find that mistake, and then call out Vit Vit. Vit Vit, give you all your handles so people can start yelling at you.
You can't find it, and even when I've pointed it out to people, and they didn't even know it was a mistake. They're like, "That's a mistake," and I'm like, "Technically, yes."
Wait, is it this giant picture of a dong on the front of it?
If you zoom out, you're like, oh, Jake.
How did this pass, Jake? This is just two guys. This is totally naked on the It's really, really awesome cover art. It's called The Fleeting Prince. If we had liner notes for these shows, I would put a copy there, but just Google it, okay? Everybody loves that place.
Everyone listening, just go to Amazon. I don't care if you buy it. I don't care if you read it, but just give it a 5-star review and say, look, I listened to the guy's podcast. He seemed legit.
Best podcast ever.
I expect you to do that, Brian. You just need to go and pick 5 stars and be like, haven't read it yet, but it looks great.
And you need to go on Bing, and you need to go on Tinder, all those places, and leave them 5-star reviews for the Fleeting Prince. Once you see Fleeting Prince, you put Fleeting Prince in your marketing thing on Tinder, right? So it's the option to date it, the book.
Yeah, because I'm not married with kids, so why?
No, not you. They're not dating you. They're dating the book. Okay, you need to get your marketing out there to the youngins.
Oh, boy.
If they do that, and then when they go on the date, instead of meeting a person, the book's waiting for them. Bada bing, bada boom. You just got a new reader.
I don't know.
That's a good idea. Okay.
I don't know if any of your 10 listeners do happen to use Tinder.
All of them.
So
they all know each other.
I
That's
hope
how they
I'm
met
not
on a Tinder,
offending any of them with what I'm about to say, but it seems to me like Tinder is one of the worst possible ways to meet anybody. So
what are you talking about? We met on Tinder. That's how we're best friends. We met on the friends section of Tinders
in junior high, and then it just happened. It just happened that we had the same friend.
Yeah, we were on Friend10. It was called back then. Now it's called Tinder.
The beta version.
Oh man, how funny. I mean, it probably exists and it's probably really sad, but how funny would it be if they had just like a friend version of Tinder where you still swipe left and swipe right based on people's looks, but it's just for meeting friends.
It's actually
it's
not
like the worst, meanest thing ever.
I don't know It's a funny idea.
I mean, it's $1 billion idea.
Especially
you and I just won
since-
$1 billion.
Oh my gosh, that's actually not a bad idea. Like, try to make friends based purely on their looks.
And
Which
that's
is like
how it
the
works, man.
worst way to make friends.
That is, as everybody knows, judge a book by its cover. That is the one word of advice that everybody can live by, that everybody thinks is good.
Ugh.
Stupid BS here.
My
We
book
love
would,
it, okay?
My book would be selling a lot better.
Yeah, same with my album. That actually, I did get 2 people to buy copies of my vinyl, I think, based on the cover at the local record shop it was at, which I, to this day, was very proud of.
A new one or your old album?
No, the old one. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it costs so much to print a vinyl. I'm working on some new stuff, but I haven't done anything with it because it's crazy expensive. So I don't know when that's going to happen.
Is your
so till
music on Spotify or wherever music? Where is it?
Wherever you can find music, just look to the sky and you will find me there.
Okay.
Now you can check for like Pack Wild Animals, but yeah, it's when I do the next record in the future, whenever I finish that tomorrow, then I will talk about it. But yeah, man, I'm excited to share with you guys, with like friends and stuff. But yeah, as you know, creating stuff is difficult and can be expensive and takes way longer than you'd ever want.
Yep.
And you have actually a podcast. Your bonus episodes, I think, are really, really cool. Introspective looks into creation. I really, really dig that. Like, I think that's really neat.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Well, it's been awesome talking with you, my bro. Suf. We got to bring you back on again. I'd love to get like more of the cast assembled Avengers style. Bring down that big stank bank. He'll be Thanos always.
Yep.
He'll be talking about stocks all day and making money and
let's do it.
hurting the peasant folk, and we got to assemble to take him down. So hopefully he listens to this. Hopefully he's one of the 10 listeners.
So I'm gonna press. This was a good practice. I'm gonna press record and we're gonna start the show. Okay.
Right? 3, 2, 1.
Oh yeah.